KwaZulu-Natal Premier Sihle Zikalala has promised that government officials will not misuse the disaster relief funds from Treasury. There's been widespread scepticism that the billions set aside will not be used for their intended purpose or won't reach the victims of the devastating floods. Let me put the question to you another way. Do you trust government when this promise is made? Well, the CEO of organisation undoing tax abuse is Wayne Duvenage. He joins us now. Wayne, good afternoon to you. Do you trust government to manage this money?
No, Stephen, not if their track record is anything to go by, and I don't even think they trust themselves when they start making comments like maybe we should, or they should be introducing independent agencies to manage these funds. So the short answer is no.
I mean, it was Enoch Godongwana, I think that's the comment you're referring to. He's the finance minister. He made the comment, I believe it was an interview with the Sunday Times. I thought that was quite a concession when he suggested that they were actually looking at some kind of outside agency here.
Yeah, and you know, on the face of it, one should welcome that, but because we know what we know. But it is a sad situation and indictment on government when you have to speak like that. So it is really worrying. I mean, it shouldn't be difficult, but it is going to be. And the biggest worry, Stephen, is the fact that we're going to get 1 kilometre for every road or one bridge for every 3 that we should be able to get, because of the overspending, because of the mismanagement, the maladministration. And we've seen this for years, by the way, that there are too many middlemen, there are too many facilitation fees being paid out, and, you know, suddenly you see hairdressers and beauty salons getting contracts for feeding schemes, and pothole repair companies getting contracts for massive bridges and road reconstruction. So it is going to be a problem. We understand and know that, and we really need to do something different and in the long term to fix this problem.
How do you think the money should be managed? A lot of people have been pointing to the way the Solidarity Fund was managed during the pandemic.
Yeah, and I think that's a good example of how that fund was managed, far less misspending, and I think the speed is important and quick here. You know, we've seen Charlotte Macleod Hospital taking a year to be rebuilt, and countries like China building hospitals, entire hospitals, in a matter of weeks to months. We can't wait for these roads and water infrastructure to be built again in KZN. This needs to happen fast. The money needs to flow, and the professionalism of the work that is appointed to companies needs to happen as quickly as possible.
Obviously, there'll be corporate governance experts who will look at different structures. I suppose what it really boils down to is transparency. We need to know where the money went. We need to know where all of the money went. It's really about that, isn't it?
Yeah, and if it's transparent from right in the beginning, not afterwards, and then we find the big loopholes, because the flags go up a lot quicker when the transparency takes place right now. So as the tenders are coming in, we can see which companies are being allocated, do they have the expertise, and then what are we paying for? And there are ways to measure the quantities that are applied to various projects, and we need to make sure that we're not paying 3-4 times the price for cement, for instance, or culverts and so forth. People shouldn't be profiteering at times like this.
It's also about making sure the private sector behaves itself, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And private sector is the other side of the corruption coin when it comes to government infrastructure spending. So they need to be watched very closely. And I think the message that civil society and government needs to send to the private sector is, you know, don't milk these situations. We understand supply and demand is an issue, but at times like this, for longevity and the trust that has to be built up between all parties, we cannot be seen to be excessively profiteering out of a dire situation as we have done in KZN.
Wayne, if I may just put my optimistic face on for a moment, this is a chance for government maybe to try and regain some trust. If it's seen to manage this well, it may be a chance for people to begin to put the Digital Vibe scandal, for example, behind them.
Yes, it's a big opportunity, and I think this is time that the President and the cabinet ministers need to look society in the eye, look the country in the eye, and say, this time round, you can trust us. This time we will manage this process a lot better. And it is a great opportunity. You know, we have ANC elections coming up in December. We have got the national elections in probably 18 months to 2 years from now. So a lot is riding on what happens here.
Wayne Duvenage, thanks very much indeed, CEO of the organisation undoing tax abuse. I really do appreciate the time.